Thank you, Madam Speaker. Good morning, everybody. I tell you, we definitely competing views and philosophies of what this budget should be and the direction Maryland government should go. And I think we're watching in real time the Sovietization of Maryland at this point. Every dollar government spends is a dollar they take from the taxpayer. See, Maryland doesn't have a product they sell. And then even when they provide a service, they don't provide a service of worth unless it's unbelievably highly subsidized. Heck, Metro serves a good example of that. 6 years ago, the Maryland budget was $46 billion. This budget here, it's $67 billion. This is unsustainable. And the person that knows it best sits up on the second floor. When he unloaded his budget this year, I was there, and to tell you the truth, I was impressed. The governor came out and said, you know, the problem, this is a quote, the problem is when you have spending by 70% and GDP growing by 3%, you have a problem, and the only way is to grow your way out of it. Hell, that sounds like it could have came from me. Came from upstairs, from your party. But then the solutions were to offer basically no cuts. They didn't control the spending at all. And I don't see how the largest tax increase in Maryland history helps out economic growth. And this notion that we didn't have a surplus, that's just factually inaccurate. I voted for budgets in the past, my time in Annapolis, and I voted against budgets. 2 years ago, I voted against the budget because it blew through $5 billion surplus. Do you know who else had a surplus back then and now? Virginia, Pennsylvania, Delaware, West Virginia, all our neighboring states. Last year's budget was built on $453 million of tax increases. This one is built on $1.6 billion of tax increases. And we have to start at some point asking what we've gotten for the money. Right now, you have 53% of Marylanders thinking about leaving the state. That's not successful. People don't flee successful places. Ask anyone that's crossing the border now, they're fleeing free health care and free education. In Maryland, we have more people on Medicaid now than I believe in the history of the state. I know the majority party thinks that's a good thing. We've had more people on Section 8 than in the history of the state. We've got so many people on Section 8 and claiming vouchers for their housing, we had to create a state program and fund it $10 million that's in this budget. Keeping people on the government doles, that's not success. Keeping people derived from cradle to grave, that's not success. And what are we getting for all this education spending? Because there's about $1.5 billion more in this budget on education than if you would have eliminated curling completely and kept the 2022 funding formulas. Funny how that works out, 1.6 billion. And for all that money, we've gotten a 48% efficiency rate in reading across the state, a 24% efficiency rate in math, and more people homeschooling their children than in the history of the state. But here's the opportunity. We could fix all those problems. We could fix the growth. You know, a couple of years ago, we passed all this in the name of social justice. We passed all this criminal justice reform, police reform, juvenile justice reform. When you have crime so bad that businesses are putting products behind glass and shutting down, Because shoplifting out of control, that's bad for business, bad for tax revenue. How about that? When you have an energy policy that's supposed to be supporting the green energy plan, and it leads to the highest utility costs in the region, well, guess what? That's bad for business. We have an opportunity to fix all that. What we are lacking is the political will to do it. We know the problems. The problems are the activists out in the corner here. Stop listening to them. There's no budget proposal in this chamber that's actually serious unless you look at the two main drivers, which is education and Medicaid. But we don't do that. Somehow we scrape enough money to put a new Department of Social Equity. Can someone stand up and please tell me what that department is actually doing? Come on. This is what serious chambers do. This isn't what serious works do. Virginia came into their legislative session 45 days in and out and ended with a budget. They fixed their problems. We're just continuing on. Thank you, Madam Speaker.